So was the new Toyota Tacoma cobbled together with a bunch of leftover parts and is just a mishmash of metal and stuff, both on the exterior and the interior? You know, I had a comment on the channel recently. By the way, it's turned into a great day here temperature-wise. It was hot and humid, and then we had some big thunderstorm come through, and it is comfortable. But anyway, I had a comment recently. Somebody stated that they don't like the new Tacoma, which is fine. You don't have to like the looks of it. We all have different tastes, right? But they said that they thought it looked like it was just cobbled together with a bunch of leftover parts from other trucks, I guess. So let's take a look. I mean, does the new Tacoma have a bunch of stuff on it that looks cobbled together? Now, one thing I do want to mention, you know, Chevy did that years ago with a Corvette. They needed to put out a new designed Corvette, and all they did was pull a bunch of parts off the shelf with a different body, and they cobbled it together. Let's take a look here. First of all, let's just start in the front end, right? I mean, it has a grill. Well, so did the other one. It's really not, you know, drastically different than what any other grill is on any other truck. I don't know that it looks like they just grabbed something and threw it on, but it is different. The lighting and stuff, I mean, I kind of like the way the lights are kind of blacked out or smoked or whatever you want to say. I think it's a good aggressive look. It's something new on the Tacoma. I don't think it was cobbled together or pulled off a shelf. Now, to be honest, the one thing that I really don't dig is this little panel here. I think it should be open like this little area is in the fender flare here. That, I think, really should be some sort of a functional piece. And while we're speaking about fender flares, I mean, yeah, that is a part that is added to the truck, but honestly, every other Tacoma has had fender flares of some sort too. Either black ones or color matched or whatever, just like this. And going back to this vented area, that is something new. I will say that is kind of Raptor-esque, if you will, but I like it. I think it's a good aggressive look for the front of the truck. Now, this panel across the front here, gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of all of the plastic and the black vinyl kind of looking feature up there. But I do think it blends well with the front of the truck, and I really don't think it's a problem. Matter of fact, I think one of the best attributes of the 2024 Tacoma is the front end. Another issue that this particular commenter had was with the fog lights. I guess they kind of prefer the old style round ones down here. They claim that these are not very functional. Haven't really noticed that myself the few times that I've taken it out at night. And I've tested them. They do seem pretty functional to me. And one other thing, talking about the front end, I do like that they relocated the TSS sensor back behind this area as opposed to having it in the grill. From a modding standpoint, it opens up more options to either change out the grill or do something with this emblem here itself, because you don't have to worry about blocking that sensor. So I kind of like that. Now, where they did fall short, of course, is underneath. If you take the chin strap or air dam off of here, you're left with this cheapo, and it is cheapo skid plate. It's really some kind of, I don't know what it is. It's plastic, I'm sure, but it feels like it has some kind of cloth coating or something on it. It's very odd and not very sturdy, I don't think. If you look at the thickness of that thing, I mean, it's like a few pieces of paper. Definitely not going to stop anything from damaging anything under the truck. I think if you're talking about cobbled together, that is one area where I would agree. That piece, they really should have put at least a steel skid plate on there. If nothing else, then similar to what they have done before. I mean, even taking that part and turning it into a steel piece would have been better than what we have. Now, looking down the side of the truck, and this is where I think this notion of cobbled together might come into play a little bit, because they put this ridge or indentation into the doors all the way to the back here, I guess. It kind of gives it a bulkier look. Now, it is one piece. I mean, it's not like this is a panel, and I've seen other manufacturers do this where they slap a panel on the side. Fortunately, Toyota didn't do that. Honestly, if they had, that would be a huge dislike for me. But it does have that appearance. It does give it a thicker, beefier look, but it's not just a cobbled together, thrown on piece of material, right? I mean, it is the door. Moving on to the back, we do have the round filler cap here, filler area. I don't really think there's any wrong with it other than it is a little bit big. Onto the bumper area, I mean, I don't know what you'd see back here that's cobbled together. And keep in mind, it did not come with the D-rings. I added those as well as the reverse light in the hitch there. But nothing really all that much different than what we had in the 3rd gen when it comes to the back. I mean, you've got a tailgate, which is much lighter, by the way, which makes it nicer to open and close. Looking inside, you know, it's basically the same. They did take away the plug, at least at this trim level, and the little cubby in there, but otherwise, I mean, it's still a plastic composite bed just like we had before. Now, I am going to agree with this commenter on these next 2 features. First of all, the hat or the spoiler or whatever you want to call this up here, I'm not a big fan of that. I think adding the sport bar to it kind of diminishes that a little bit, makes it look better, but it's not one of the best looks for the truck in my opinion. So I would agree there, that's kind of cobble-ish. The big thing is the window on the rear. It looks like they took a piece of glass and just stuck it there. You can see in the corners, it's not finished. There's no trim work around it. It really does look like a piece of glass just cobbled in, stuck in there. That, I think, of anything you can complain about with the new Tacoma is the biggest problem, and I would agree in that case. That part, it's cobbled together. Now, the other thing they mentioned, the same thing on the inside, that it's too cluttered, too much stuff. It's not sleek enough in here. And I think the biggest 2 reasons for that, honestly, is the radio screen that's not really integrated. It just kind of sits there. It's almost a floating screen. A better look than I thought we were going to have in the new Tacoma, but I can see how not having it blended in there, you know, it overlaps this area by your sight line. Looks like it's starting to encroach on the push button start. Yeah, I get that. And then this handle down here. I'm not really sure what that is for. If it's to add structural integrity to the truck, I mean, you don't really use it to grab to get in because it's a heck of a stretch from the outside of the truck, and you do have the grab handle up there, as small as it is, to help you get in and out of the truck. So I'm not sure really what its purpose is. If anything makes the truck look cluttered inside, I think, when you just initially look at it, it's probably that. Kind of a strange piece once you think about it. The rest of the truck, I don't think so. I mean, I like the way they did the doors with the TRD line. We've got TRD here. We've got this nice patterning and good feel to it. I don't think there's any issue with that. They kind of opened this area up a little bit to give us more room to put cups and things in. Gave us this bigger, more accessible storage area here. So I don't see it. In the back, if I can get in the truck, let's unlock. In the back area, it's pretty much the same. They didn't do us any favors back here when it comes to space, that's for sure. But I don't see it as being any more cluttered than any other Tacoma is. We still have the grab handles on each side, by the way. This one, I hate to say it, could actually be a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit narrower. It's almost in your way in the entry point when you get in and out of the truck. Anyway, there are a couple of things, I guess, that do have that kind of cobbled together appearance, the window and the roof line, but that's really it. Leave a comment. Let me know if you agree with the commenter. The truck looks like it's just a bunch of pieces thrown together, and it's not as sleek or as well designed as the Gen 3 was. I'd be curious to know what you think. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.